Two San Angelo women are going to spend time in prison after taking plea deals today. Find out how you can save the lives of 9 precious pups, and a local RV dealer is facing a large lawsuit. We'll have details. Plus, Tom Green County Sheriff Nick Hanna returns to the show. All this plus more. I'm Yantis Green, and this is Live. But first, looking for somewhere new to eat tonight? If so, look no further than the Penny Tap House. There you can find some of the best eats and drinks in town. Don't forget, Wednesday is Wing Wednesday. That means 2 for 1 wings. Buy 12 for the price of 6. And if you thought the deals ended there, guess again, because all night long they will have $4 you call it. That's all at the Penny Tap House at 2412 College Hills Boulevard. We'll see you there. In news, 2 women took plea deals today in district court for assaulting peace officers. According to court documents, Elizabeth Morgan was found by a San Angelo police officer and a San Angelo city marshal in May of 2022. Both the officer and the marshal knew that Morgan to have outstanding warrants, and when they went to arrest her, she kicked the city marshal in the face while he was attempting to restrain her legs. In exchange for a guilty plea, Morgan was sentenced to 2 years in prison and will get credit for time served. Valentina Duffley pleaded guilty after assaulting a nurse at Shannon Medical Center's emergency room. According to court documents, Duffley was yelling in a hallway at Shannon, and when a nurse went to calm her down, Duffley quickly shoved the nurse. A witness and security footage confirmed her action, and now she's been sentenced to 5 years in prison. There's more on those stories at sanangelolive.com. Have you been contemplating getting a dog recently? Well, here is a fantastic opportunity. As the show kicked off yesterday, the city of San Angelo announced that the animal shelter is officially at capacity. It's full. That means that they have animals that must be euthanized. There are 9 dogs on the list. The destruction of the dogs will begin with 9 of them. Their names are Charming, Levy, Zeus, Gilgo, Tack, Yowza, Gummy, Gummy Bear, Chewy, and Cheyenne. They are all up for adoption right now and must be out of the shelter by Friday. To adopt one of those dogs, contact Concho Valley Paws. And the San Angelo Coliseum on Wednesday didn't have much going on following the finale of the Lamb Show and Steer Show. However, this is just the calm before the storm. In the coming days out at the fairgrounds, there will be Angora goats, breeding gilts, and the heifer show. For the latest results on everything, go to the rodeo tab on sanangelolive.com. Results are updated as soon as they are released. As for weather, there's another chance of rain beginning early next week. Tonight through Saturday, the sun will be out with highs in the lower 60s. It's going to be a pretty nice weekend. Friday will be a little cooler, a little chillier, but don't expect anything too extreme. Moving on to Sunday and Monday, the best chance of rain will be Monday morning. That chance stands at 40%. Finally, in news, a local RV dealer is in deep water. We'll tell you who in just a minute. But first, looking for a chance to win a free date this Valentine's? If so, go down to Myers Drug and Boutique. There you can enter a raffle to win 2 free wine tastings at Brick's Winery. Enter today at Myers Drug and Boutique, located at 29 South Chadbourn Street. And now, here is Matt Trammell with the biggest story of the day.
Funtown RV is having to defend their honor. Tomorrow, there is a bench trial scheduled in the 119 District Court against Funtown. Why? Well, the plaintiff, Kara Stevens, is suing the RV dealer after she claims they sold her a piece of junk. In the lawsuit, it alleges the RV had multiple problems, including water, heater, slide out, and hydraulic problems. Heck, even the wine cooler only cooled down to 55 degrees. She claims the salesman lied to her by not telling her the 1-year warranty she was sold was voided by living in it. Stevens is asking for $100,000, attorney's fees, and for a refund on that RV. In fact, she says she'll even give it back. What will Judge Woodward decide? Find out tomorrow, as we will have reporters in the courtroom. Keeping businesses honest and keeping the public informed is the most important thing here at San Angelo Live, and because of that, it is the biggest story of the day.
You've been asking for discounts, and I've been asking the factory for vehicles. Well, it's all lining up. We are offering big discounts, and our lots are filling up with inventory. It's a great time to be looking for a new car or truck. We have up to $9,500 in total savings. You can only get deals like this at Jim Bass Ford, at the corner of Houston Hart and Arden Road, or 24/7 at bassbunch.com.
The San Angelo Central Bobcats and Lady Cats hosted Midland High at Central High School last night. The Lady Cats won their season finale and their 8th straight game, 52-25. Central heads to the playoffs next Monday. The date, time, and location are still to be determined. The Bobcats kept their playoffs hopes alive after they beat Midland 71-48. The Cats are tied for second place in district with Odessa High. Central travels to Lubbock on Friday to play the Friendship Tigers. Wall boys and girls swept the Merkel Badgers on Tuesday. The Lady Hawks beat the Lady Badgers 55-25 in their season finale to secure second place in district. The Hawks continue to seek a district championship after beating the Badgers 57-36. The Hawks host the Gymnet Indians on Friday in Wall. The TLCA Eagles traveled to Kahoma to play the Bulldogs on Tuesday night. After dropping a district game to Clyde on Saturday, the Eagles got back in the win column when they beat Kahoma 61-54. The Eagles traveled to Merkel on Friday to face the Badgers. With the end of the regular season close at hand, be sure to tune in at 4 p.m. on Fridays for our Cover One Hoop Show. This week we'll have an exclusive interview with Arsenio Jeter, head coach of the Central Lady Cats. We will also have a preview and our predictions of this weekend's games.
When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Kano's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Kano stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Kano's at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
Hi, this is Joe Hyde. Welcome back. I have a very special guest today. We have Tom Green County Sheriff Nick Hanna with us today. Sheriff Hanna, thank you for coming on our show. It's been a while since you've been here. We've usually we get to hear some good stories, things like that. So, how's the sheriff's office today?
Well, good afternoon, Joe. Thanks for having me. We just started our third year in our first term at the sheriff's office, and so I think we're doing well.
You think you're going to get reelected?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I guess I have to decide if I'm running again.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Are you running again? Let's make some news.
I'm not ready to make that decision, but I don't see me doing anything different.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha.
How does Biden dodge those questions all the time? You put me right on the spot.
He mumbles.
Oh. Well, let's finish the job. How's that?
Finish the job. Yeah. Like last night when he was in the State of the Union address?
That's what I'm referencing, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. You actually watched it?
No, I saw a few highlights this morning. No.
Gotcha.
I was at a basketball game last night.
What kind of basketball game?
I went and saw Lakeview play Levelland.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. And then, and then I was interested, and then I skinned over to Ballinger, and I watched Ballinger and Grape Creek play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Basketball fan, or you have kids?
No, I have kids. Actually, I was interested in the Levelland Lakeview game just because I like to occasionally show up there. And then my daughter's a referee. She's refereeing the Ballinger Grape Creek game, so I got to kill two birds with one stone.
Gotcha. So a Cover One Hoops fan here, Sheriff Hanna. In fact, we need to bring Sheriff Hanna on to Cover One Hoops.
I'm ready. Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
There you have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got a son on.
Coach Clark.
Coach Clark is your son?
Mm-hmm. And Cristobal.
Is that right?
He is, yeah.
All right. Well, the sheriff's office, last time I looked deeply into the sheriff's office, last year, budget session, you're trying to get the budget increased, we had a crisis at the jail. You weren't able to pay enough money, so that was one of the problems that you said, I can't hire enough jailers. How are we on those kinds of things?
We're running about 40 to 42 short back when we did the budget last summer, and the commissioners, they agreed to a raise. I think they got the minimum pay of $40,000 a year per jailer, which helped.
Where
us.
was it before?
Probably 36, I'd say 37. I think it was 17 and change an hour, and I think we're now our base pay starts at $40,000, and the guys got a kind of a corresponding. They got a 10% raise, which kind of kept up with CPI. But right now, I think we're 33 jailers short, which is some progress.
So you're up about 10.
I would say 10, and then we bring 7 in, and 4 complete the process, and then 3 will get hired, and 1 will quit, and we'll keep 2. So it's really
and it's hard to become a jailer. You have a lot of background checks and I guess psychological examinations to become a jailer.
Well, I wouldn't say it's hard, but you have to have a little bit of a stick to it in your backbone, and and we have they have a school. We do our own training here for our jail staff.
What is the let's say if I wanted to be a jailer, I'm too old. Yeah, I probably don't have the patience for it.
No, you're not too old. If you're 18, we'll look at you. Come on.
I'm not old enough. No, I'm just. But if someone was to become a jailer, what's their career progression? Where if you're, let's say you're mid-20s, you get hired on as a jailer, what would be your typical career progression?
Well, I think it's up to the individual. There are a number that go ahead and go to the academy, and then they get into law enforcement. So it's kind of a launching pad. It's a great foundation because you start to understand the culture of the folks that get incarcerated. And so we've always thought that the best street officers actually have a jail background because they learn their community, they learn how they network, and then they learn, some of the culture of those folks that are incarcerated. Sometimes it's con games, and sometimes it's how you elicit information from those individuals. And also you start understanding their lifestyle choices and their networking. And so it's a great foundation to start. Now, some folks choose to make a career out of it, and so, it's good.
They stay in the jail.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So we have some of those folks, and I'm eternally grateful to our jail staff. And during the ice storm, everybody shut down. Well, the jail's not shut down.
Still going.
Yeah,
right.
24/7, 365. It's the biggest hotel, the biggest cafeteria, the biggest restaurant. Health
serviced by the largest law firm.
There you have it.
There you go.
Yeah.
The 2 largest law firm now, we have the public defender's office. So we have 2 of the largest law firms are Tom Green County. So how's that?
Yeah. Well,
outside of the sheriff's world. But very important.
So that's the detention side, and on the patrol side, we're still shorthanded there. So we're still, if anybody interested in coming to work or wants a career in law enforcement, we'd love to have them at the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office. It's a
get to know Grape Creek Road, get to know Cristobal Road.
We have 1,500 square miles or so in this county, and so there's a lot of county to cover. And then you have courthouse security, so folks that do courthouse.
Right.
We have warrants division. We have a civil process service, and then we have our mental health division, which is about 5 deputies right now, and they cover the city and the county. And so they're really busy. In fact, they received an award today.
They did.
Yeah.
And mental health's an important thing, or is kind of like a highlighted thing in our society today. It's just nationwide, mental health. A lot of things that were crimes are now blamed on mental health.
Well, we always think it's a catch-all. Number one, when mental health is sometimes it sets on you, I guess, but a lot of it, what we see is a result of drug abuse and substance abuse, and you use too much of that, and then you have mental health issues. And so a lot of that is a reflection of society when we're talking about our mental health problems. I've always said when we're talking about active shooters in schools, well, is it a mental health problem? Well, I don't know. If he's done his research and acquired his weapons and done training and mapped out a schedule and written out a list and done all these things, from my perspective as a former ranger and as a sheriff, I don't really think that's a mental health issue. I think that's just an evil issue.
Right.
So, but
the devil issue.
Definitely.
Yeah. School security, brought up school security. We've had a couple incidences with threats on Snapchat, hitting. Of course, those are in the city.
Yes.
But you have a lot of schools that are under your purview. You have Wall, you have Cristobal, you have Grape Creek,
Water Valley,
very
best.
Yeah.
And then Fairview out there in Wall ISD.
How does the on the school security front? How does that look?
I actually did a walkthrough of a school on the north side of the county today, Water Valley, and met with their superintendent and their folks out there, and just kind of we looked at what they have going on, and not in anticipation of today, but I was really impressed with the steps that they've implemented. They've been really proactive. They got their Knox boxes situated like they should.
What's a Knox box?
Well, Knox box is like a box where law enforcement can arrive and get access to the school. So we're not looking for a key; it's in one central location.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, that's the thing with schools, and that's part of the state's initiative is that we have access to the exterior doors, interior doors, your notifications, your panic buttons, giving the sheriff's office access to cameras within a school system on a link net, so we can go to the website, pull it up, and we can see what's going on. Communication within the side of the school. So there's a lot of dynamics, a lot of moving parts, and of course, when our schools were architecturally designed
Back in the 1940s?
Yeah, nobody was thinking about school security, but now a lot of fencing is going up now, and a lot of locked doors. And now I noticed today we're kind of transitioning. Now we're more surprised if we were to come to a door that we could gain entry in without buzzing in. And in the past, well, you just walked in so.
Right.
So I think it'll never be perfect, but I think a lot of schools are improving and doing a good job. So, and I've been pleased with what I've seen with some of our schools,
So
and everybody's on board.
Is there money coming in for that? Because we had the tragedy in Uvalde, and of course the state, it became a political issue. So that there's money. So
Yes.
have we seen money come down for school security for the county?
Well, we have. The state has grants for schools and also some for law enforcement. I think we just purchased some shields. And the thing is the grants usually come with strings, and so you have to have things that comply.
Right, of course, the strings.
Comply with it. And so you have to kind of jump through hoops and figure out how you're going to meet those challenges with your existing budget. And, from my perspective, whether it's federal government or state government or county government, I always want to utilize the resource we have, not just do we have to go get new resources, because we have a lot of resources at our fingertips.
And I guess when you bring in a new resource, you have to bring in more manpower or more man hours to be able to run that particular system.
Well, yeah, the expectations are always higher. Through the perspective and the lens of society, I always say that, hey, the community is our conscience. And whether that's a jury or where that's folks within our community. And when Uvalde is, it's a tragedy, but we also have to use it as a learning event. And a lot of what happened there was not a failure of resources; it was lack of leadership, lack of communication at the scene, and then a lot of confusion on set. And so, there by the grace of God go. A lot of chiefs and a lot of sheriffs are thinking there by the grace of God goes I. But we have our SRT guys, and I know the PD with their special ops and their PD. I think the leadership is in place for if we have something like that, we're going to have the most efficient response possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've been on the news beat for 10 years, and I know that when there's a major shooting or something in the county, all of a sudden it seems like every car that you saw in Houston Hart is going past the checkpoint in there, because there's so many law enforcement people in this community that are undercover.
Well, we have plain clothes. Yeah,
you don't realize it until you go to one of these things, and all of a sudden these black cars are driving through with no lights. I'm like, I just saw that guy on the Houston Hart the other day, But that's one thing that I've noticed in this town. It's different from Dallas or different from Del Rio, where I've been before. You just have a lot, and they all seem to work in concert together too. They always look to see who's the scene commander, who's in charge of this situation, and they all kind of funnel toward that.
Well, you do. I know what you're talking about. I've seen some crime scenes and all the law enforcement cars parked outside of it.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, really, when I tell somebody I don't have enough folks, they're probably wondering what I'm talking about. But a lot of those are, you might have an ABC agent here and a DPS agent here, and
the game warden. The game warden, he's the man. The game warden.
They have their own TV show and everything. Wears me out.
All right, so training. Let's talk about training. One of the things that's happened recently in national headlines is the Memphis police had this Scorpion team.
Right.
And I guess they pulled over a guy for whatever reason, and he didn't want to get out of the car, so they yanked him out, and they ended up tasing him. He escaped them. They went and found him, and then they beat him to death. So what kind of I mean, you're in law enforcement, and when law enforcement like that happens somewhere else, I'm sure you think about, well, what could that happen here? So talk about that.
Well, always know you never give absolutes.
Right.
But from my perspective, no, that would never happen here. We don't. Our training within the sheriff's office, we have a comprehensive 13-week field training officer program. They don't start off in a lot of these guys in the Scorpion, they start off in a specialized unit. Well, you don't get your foundation of how to be a policeman in a specialized unit. We start everybody off in the uniform service.
So patrol.
Yeah, so patrol. So they have a 13-week FTO program, and we grade them. Every week it's structured. They have goals. They have tests. They test their skills, their knowledge, and their application. Everything from giving a sobriety test on the side of the road to how they handle domestic situations to their understanding of the law, how they communicate. We have an evaluation period, and that continues throughout their employment. The evaluation period, and we have body cams, in-car cams, which we're actually hoping that we can utilize some funds from the government to buy some Axon body cameras that we've identified.
What's the difference between the body cams you have now and Axon?
Axon is kind of the benchmark now. It's utilized.
So you have old blurry body cams right now, and what you want to do is you want the 4K version.
Well, like our issues is like your storage on your body cams. Right now, we have to go through a process uploading those videos, and sometimes our files are full, and that the officer has to come back the next day, and so that's always an issue. And the quality is not conducive to what the public expects of us, and we need to protect our community. We need to protect our officers, and so there's some funds that we're looking at that we're pursuing.
If I recall, the San Angelo Police Department just got new body cam things last year.
There's our Axon.
It was like millions of dollars.
Right. Yeah. It's an expensive proposition. You have a lot of officers, a lot of cars, and a lot of storage. It's cloud-based storage now, but yes, it is an expensive proposition. But it's also spread over a number of years. I think probably a 6-year window is what you're looking at.
And so there's grant money out there from the state or the federal government to help pay for it, or
yeah, we're pursuing some funds for that, right? Yeah. I don't want to say what it is because if we don't get it, then those folks will be put on.
But we're not looking at a $40 a year tax increase on the Montgomery County taxpayer to pay for the sheriff's office new 4K cameras.
Well, I think the public expects us to be proactive, and they want us to have, when the questions are asked, they want us to have the answers, and have made every effort we can to equip our guys with the best equipment we can.
And one of the things about body cams, and we were talking about this before, you said when the body cams first came out, law enforcement community kind of said, oh no, law enforcement's over. But what you've actually found is that body cams have helped law enforcement.
Yes, the culture was, it's not that it was abusive, but nobody wants a big brother. But when that first came out in the 90s, there's naturally some resistance. And I remember I was a highway patrol sergeant, and I remember thinking, oh, this is going to be a headache. But what would happen is 19 times out of 20, when somebody called and complained, your officer would be justified. Or the truth would be somewhere in the middle, where I can see why he said this because look what's going on, and it's reasonable.
But now the body cam footage can be used to exonerate the police officer.
Well, it's going to show the facts, good or bad. Doesn't blink,
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Sheriff Hanna, it's really great to have you on our show. You need to come back at least every quarter.
I think we should. Okay.
All right.
Who you have for the Super Bowl?
I don't know. Maybe the Eagles. What do you think?
I don't think anybody likes the Eagles around.
They don't like the Eagles?
Not really.
Kansas City?
Probably Kansas City.
Kansas City's who I should go for?
That's a Texas Tech boy, so.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes, my goodness. So you're going to Kansas City.
I just want a good game, really.
It's going to be a good game because I really think that if you were still a Texas Ranger, I think you ought to investigate how these scores get racked up during the Super Bowl because they're always a close game. Have you noticed the last 5 years, it's always come down to the wire?
Well, investigate a lot of things, but never that.
Well, Sheriff Hanna, thanks for coming on today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Joe.
All right,
appreciate it.
And back to you, Yantis.
So we were on vacation, family vacation, having a good time, and we get the call.
I mean, it was a river. It was a river in our house. That's the big thing is we kept wondering, how bad is it?
It was devastating. I was like numb. It's like, how are we going to handle all this? What are we going to do?
And that's it for news, weather, and sports. Don't forget, the Concho Valley Paws needs your help to adopt and foster those dogs, get them out of the shelter, or some of them will be euthanized. And be sure to check us out on social media and SanAngeloLive.com. Don't forget to download the app. Until tomorrow for San Angelo Live, I'm Yantis Green.